Cybrdroyd, and you're watching Cybrdroid's Funky Labs. And in the last episode, I was doing some farming and things of that nature. Um, and I was also doing some hunting. Um, I just wanted to give you a little tour of what's been happening um, since the last video. So, here's a look at my guy, and just wanna say hello.
Hello.
Hello. So, anyway, let's have a look around. This is a new item that I built since the last time. It's a loom. That's used for making a linen cloth, and also built some tanning tubs, which allows me to do to soak flax fibers and things like that. Now also I built these racks, these drying racks, but unfortunately I can't yet use them because my animal war. I don't know if you can see this video. My animal war right now is only 43. That needs to get to 60, so I can increase procuration to 30. At which point I can dry hides and I can weave ropes, hanks of linen, and linen cloth. So that's what we're waiting for. And as you can see, because of that, I built 2 more coops. This gives me more opportunities to do animal lore. I can manage these. This is going to allow me to collect the dung. I have 9 chickens right now. I try to keep the number around 8. So why don't we go ahead and slaughter one right now, so that you can kind of see what we're doing here. What I try to do, and maybe this isn't the way to do it, but what I try to do is I try to pick the lowest number, the quality, in the list. And I'll take that, and I will slaughter that. That way, the only ones that are left that are breeding are the higher quality ones. Now, I know age plays a factor. I think they only breed to a certain age and then they die. Not sure how old they get, but or what age they should be before I slaughter them. But if you know, leave a comment and make sure you hit the like button. Also, chickens produce eggs, so I'm gonna harvest the eggs. I have 2 eggs for 2 nodes of harvesting that produce 21 colorful Easter eggs, since this is Easter week. Go ahead and slaughter this. And they gave me 1 chicken gave me 7 white meat and 10 feathers and 1 set of bones. So speaking of white meat chicken, I get some boiled chicken here, and I need to have a little bite to eat here before I pass out. So, as you can see, my animal lore just went up to 44.03, and my hunting went up to 63.33. That's because I harvested eggs and slaughtered chickens. So, let's check this out. Now, this chicken coop is bugged. Okay? I didn't play for like, more than 24 hours. And this dungometer filled up to like 130%. And consequently, all the bunnies died. And so, I cleaned out the dung. It's best I could. But as you can see, if I click this, it doesn't let me get it all out. Okay. So I notice I didn't get anything for that. And you can see here that all the bunnies that died of poor hygiene. And so what I ended up doing was I ended up making some animal snares. I made like 10. And I tried to capture some more bunnies, which I did. I captured about 4 of them. And I put them in here. And within one game day, not a real life day, but a game day, like 3 hours later, they were all dead. And as you can see, I have food in here. And the food's 94 quality, so there's nothing wrong with the food. So anyway, this coop is bugged. I did a little research online, and I went to the Steam forums, and I also went to the Life is Feudal forums, and I just did a Google search as well. And it seems like this is a common problem. So what I did was I wrote a letter to help me at lifeisfeudal.com and informed them of my problem. And I got a letter back this morning, and it says that they're aware of the problem and they hope to have it fixed in the next patch. So that's good news, and I just kind of wanted to put that out there so that, you know, just to kind of hold them to it, because, I mean, you know, they'll tell me that in an email, but, you know, I'm making this video, so now it's out there in the public. So now they, hopefully, you know, it'll be in the next patch. So I'm looking forward to that. So what I'm going to have to do is, for now, I'm going to have to tear down that coop and build a new one. And I really don't want to, because it takes like 40 boards or 30 boards and nails, and it's just a pain. So, and as you can see, I got bunnies in here, and I harvested these earlier, so there's probably not going to be much in here. No, just a little bit of dung. Trying to get as much dung as possible right now, and I'll tell you why. Is because I harvested my crops this morning, and I noticed I wasn't getting quite as much as I was the day before. So, and I noticed also the dirt looks a little different than it did earlier. Now, I don't know if you can see the texture of that, but it doesn't look very good. So what it means is that the soil is barren. So when the soil gets barren, it needs to be fertilized. So, before I made this video, my farming skill was only at 87, which I wasn't able to fertilize the soil because you can only do that at level 90. So what I ended up doing was I ended up going out and doing gather wild plants for about an hour just to get 3 points to get it up to 90. So now I should be able to fertilize my soil. So that's what I'm going to do this morning. I just want to put this stuff away. And bones and the feathers go in there. And I put the food in this chest right here. I like to keep everything organized. I don't like having everything scattered all over the place. I mean, there is some disorganization because sometimes you just have to put things down. Or put them somewhere while you're working on something and you want to just get it done really quickly. I want to show you some of the things that I built. I built this weapon rack, and I plan to make a bunch of practice weapons. And I also want to make an archery target and a training dummy, but I can't do that until I can make rope. And so, like I said earlier, my animal lore needs to be to go up before I can do that. I also made the spinning wheel. It allows me to turn hanks of wads of linen fiber into hanks of linen. Also, if you'll notice, I don't know if you remember from the last video, the trees are starting to really grow. Just a few days ago, these were all just sprouts. And look at them now. All the pine trees I planted, they're coming up and starting to look like a real forest now. And these maple trees were just itty bitty sprouts just the other day. Look at them now. They're still at medium, I believe. To inspect the tree. Yeah, medium maple tree. The quality's 73. It's not the best quality, but it was the best quality I could plant at the time. So hopefully as time goes by, as my forestry skill increases, then the quality of the trees that I plant will increase as well. So, alright, so that's a look at the forest. What I'm going to try to do right now, I'm going to try doing some fertilizing. I've never done this before, so doing this for the first time. And get to have the fun of watching me do this for the first time. So let's gather up all our dung. And we'll just grab as much as we can carry. Let's get some eggs and some apples in there. It's kind of gross, huh? Got food in there with the dung. Not a good thing. Which then it shows you how disorganized they can be at times. Which is fine, you know. It all gets done somehow. I just realized I put it in the same pack with my food. Anyway, let's make this easier. Get our grid up. And we're gonna try and be as organized as possible. Now these two tiles are forest soil, which I haven't fixed yet. But I'm gonna start here. See if we can fertilize. Right, fertilize. I've set fertilize as my default. And here we go. Now, I've successfully fertilized soil. And it have 35 quality. I think the developers need to work on their English. But it conveys the message adequately. Although slightly unprofessionally. Alright, so we're fertilizing. I probably don't have enough fertilizer to do all of these fields. Now, for some reason, this tile is broken. I don't know why. Just for some reason, I can't do anything with it now. I think it has to do with this barn I built. So let's fertilize the next one. And I like how it tells you what the quality is. So I think during the winter I'm going to be able to get all my farming tiles up to 100 quality. But I know I really don't have enough to do that right now. So I'm glad you're along for the ride with me this morning. I can only learn how to talk. I'm actually enjoying this farming thing. Kind of reminds me of Farming Simulator. I don't know if you've ever played that. Okay, this tile's broken too for some reason. I'm gonna have to fix that later. I don't know what the problem is. this takes a little while. And, you know, we're not going to get the best quality soil. Because, like I said, I only have so much fertilizer, and my skill really isn't, you know, it isn't high enough. I'd really like to get it to 100 quality eventually. That's something I can definitely do during the off season. But you can really see difference in the way the soil looks. Like this is fertile soil over here. That's the barren soil over here. So definitely nice visual difference. Okay. I wonder if there's a faster way of doing this. And I wonder how much dung I'm actually using per tile. So things are coming along nicely. I built the barn. So now I have a couple of pigs that I'm raising. And I'm doing my best to keep on top of that because I don't want the same thing that happened to my coop to happen to my barn. I really don't want to rebuild that because that was a lot of work. And it took 2 door modules, took 50 building logs. Those were the 2 hardest things. It needed mortar and I can't even remember now. But it took a long time to build. And I'm not real eager to build another one. When I take the time to build something, I want it to stay around for a while. This is good. We're getting a good amount of soil fertilized here. So the animals are doing their job and producing their dung and giving it to me to fertilize the soil so I can produce crops, which I can then feed myself and the animals. So there you have the circle of life. It's just great. I don't know if you guys have ever seen that show, Alaska, The Last Frontier, on the Discovery Channel. It's one of my favorite shows. I really like watching those guys do the things that they do. You know, working the land and farming and growing crops and tending the cattle and going on hunts and things like that. I think that's why this game appeals to me so much. Because you know, it's just getting back to the basics. You know, basic living. And now we get to do it vicariously through our modern electronics, which I find the irony staggering, but it's interesting. I digress. Anyway, continuing to fertilize. Now I did a wattle fence around this one as opposed to a stone wall because I was trying to level my construction. I think what I'll eventually do is I'll change it to a regular wooden fence. I think they look nicer. They're more expensive to build, but I just like the visual quality of the wooden fences rather than the wattle fence. Wattle fence is very primitive. And, well, I'm moving up in the world, and my technology is increasing, so I want my surroundings to reflect that. Eventually, I'm going to have a wall. It goes around the whole place. But since we're on a server that's a PvE server as opposed to a PvP server, there's no real, urgency to get that done. But I will get that done eventually. Also, yesterday, I utilized the school for the first time. I've never built a school, and I've never actually used it. Apparently, what you can do is when you build a school, is you can set it up to teach a skill that you already know. And you can only teach up to a level that you already have. So let's say your level is 90 in farming. You could set it up to teach farming up to level 90. And then other people who their farming skills are less than 90 go to the school and they can get a skills increase. Now, apparently, the amount of skill increase is dependent upon how high your skill is in that particular, whatever skill it was learning, or it was teaching. So, in my case, I went to learn forestry, but I already have a 90 forestry, so, and it was teaching up to 100, but I only got like 0.8 something from my 10-minute ride to get to the school, which is like in the southern part of the island. So it really wasn't worth the trip, but I did learn something. I did learn something about schools, and I look forward to building one someday and sharing my skills with the rest of the server. So they have a really nice trading post down there. Someday I'll take a ride down there and I'll bring you with me so you can see the trading post. They have a really nice setup. The road looks really nice. It looks like they worked really hard on it. So I just really appreciate it. I think you will too. I noticed as I'm going along here, the quality of my soil is improving. Like, I don't know if you remember, when I first started, the quality was around 30-something. Now I'm getting quality in the late 30s and 40s. So it's very good. I think it depends on the quality of the dung as well. I think I'll be able to get this field done, but I'm not going to have much fertilizer left to do the other fields. So what I think I'll do is I'll see if someone on the server has extra fertilizer that they can donate, so I can continue my farming this season. I don't know if you noticed, but I still have the grass huts. Yeah, the wooden shacks. I plan to replace those with a couple of wooden houses. But there's only 2 of us in this guild, so no real urgency to do that either, other than to gain construction skill. I've also started a stable. I know it's going to be a while before I can raise horses and cows, but I want to have that ready. So, how much fertilizer do I have left? Not much. I have enough to do like 6 more tiles. So, I notice the sun is going down, so it's going to get dark very soon. I want to go ahead and just fertilize as much as I can. Show you the other warehouse and the barn before I leave. It's finals week at school, so I have a couple of finals papers to do this week. So after I finish making this video, I'm gonna get to work on those. They're mostly done. So I'm not really too worried about it. It's not going to take that long. Just wanted to get a sip of coffee. Alright, so we are out of fertilizer. Right, so these fields are pretty barren. So, and this is wheat that I planted, but it just hasn't, it's just not ready to be harvested yet. And this is my barn, which I finished last night. And as you can see, I have a couple of pigs in here. These are pigs that I tamed myself. Their quality isn't that great, but hopefully their quality will improve over time. This is the other warehouse that I built. And as you can see, I've already started to build some chests to put in there. I'd like to have about 5 chests in there. And if we go around back, see where I put the stable. Now, I built that just so it's, you know, flush against the back of the warehouse. And so I'm utilizing as much of the space as possible. So I think what I want to do is probably put some workshops here, like a carpenter's workshop, maybe a horse training field. Up here, I'm not really sure what I want to do with this yet. It's not really the right height that I want it to be. As you can see, it's 32.3 down there, and it jumps to 34 up here. I don't like that. I'm very OCD when it comes to terraforming. I don't like radical transitions from one height to another. So what I like to do, this is my strategy. See how it's 32.3 here? And then I make a transition to 33. And here we are at 33.3. And I don't get as much land space for doing that, but it looks nicer, doesn't it? It looks nicer when you have gentle transitions from one level to another. Makes it look more natural. you don't have these sheer walls that you have to climb over. Which I can't stand that. Now the person that did this, he meant well, but you know, it's just not the way I would do it. So I'm fixing it. So this all needs to be fixed. I started tearing this up, and as a result, I kind of messed up the road a little bit. But I'll fix it. It's just going to take a little time, and we will get it done. And I love, like, looking at my claim and seeing how much it's grown and size, and I love looking at all the trees that I've planted, and I say to myself, you know what, I planted all these trees. And I don't know, it's just something I take a lot of pride in. Now, my forestry's up to 90, so I can plant oak trees now. I have a bunch of oak sprouts. Some of them were given to me by some nice folks on the server. They're all 100 quality, so those should be really nice. And so anyway, those are my trees, and they go back pretty far. I've been working really hard leveling up my forestry. I wonder what size those elm trees are. I don't like to harvest trees until they're major in size. If they're just medium, I'll leave them alone. Even if they're poor quality, I wanna let them get to their full potential. So let's just have a look and see what quality of this tree is. Let's have a look. Forestry, nature's inspect tree. Major elm tree, and its estimated quality is 100. It's awesome. Now watch this. As you can see, my forestry is right at 90. Okay. So even though this is a 100 quality tree, when I go to harvest the sprout, quality is only going to be about 90. $91. Now you see that? So the higher my skill goes, the better the quality sprouts I'm going to have. So now I'm going to be able to plant some elm trees, which is really cool. Getting quite a lot of them too. Elm trees and oak trees are really good to plant. I like to plant pine trees because, well, you do need softwood for some things. And so it's always good to have a good supply of softwood trees as well as hardwood trees. I've also planted a lot of apple trees, and I've planted a few mulberry trees, but I need to plant some more. Mulberry is another source of softwood as well as apple trees, but they produce crops. So I hesitate to harvest those because I like being able to get the silk from the mulberry trees. I haven't planted any hazelnut trees yet because frankly they're not that useful. I mean, they provide hazelnuts, but the hazelnuts just aren't that nutritious at all. But they do make good trail food. Something to take along with you when you're out hunting or traveling. So I'm just gonna get the sprouts from this tree while we're here. If you look around and you see all those trees with the pink blossoms, those are the apple trees. And I planted quite a lot of those. And they're above 85 quality, so really happy with them. Now, from what I understand, trees die after a certain amount of time. So, I've been kind of saving the apple sprouts, just in case. I don't want them to get caught. I don't want to get caught without apple trees, because I need the apples to feed the animals. I did a couple other things. I started working on my carpentry, which I built this potter's wheel, and I haven't used it yet, but right now I can only make unfired vase, which I'm not really sure what it's useful for. I think it's just decoration. And I also built a kernstone. And this is for advanced farming, so it allows me to turn wheat into flour. And then I can use the flour to bake bread and other baked goods. Alright, so we're ready to plant, at least on these 2 fields. So I think I'm going to do that next. And I really need to work on my animal lore so I can start drying some hides and getting them soaking in the tubs. But I think that might be a winter activity, because I want to get all the flax soaked before the end of the season, so I can have plenty of flax fibers. Anyway, that's the tour for today, and I'm gonna leave you with that, because I really don't have anything else to talk about. By the way, this is all copper here. I mean, this is a massive amount of copper, and I discovered copper quite accidentally, because I started digging a mine over here, and I was going after the stone. Lo and behold, I hit a copper vein. So that kind of began my journey into mining. So after I got some skill with copper mining, I was able to mine the iron over here. You know, there's quite a lot of iron here. I don't know if you can see it, because it's getting dark, but this is a massive, massive, massive pile of iron. And I'll tell you a little story about this mine. A couple of guys showed up one day, and they started mining right in this little spot over here. And I thought it was kind of interesting, and kind of annoying too, because it was so close to my claim. And oh look, there's a boar. I think we'll leave that alone. I might want to try and tame it, but they have a tendency to knock you out. I don't like being knocked out, so I'm gonna leave him alone. Anyway, they were digging this mine, and they dug this massive hole. But they left all the iron here. They didn't take any of it. They left it for me, and they came over and said, hey, you know, we're just leveling up our mining skills, so we're not taking any of the iron, so we're just going to leave it in the pile here. And the pile that they left was probably about the size of this little pile right here of stone. But when I started mining, I mined for a whole day. I'm not kidding you. I was in here for like 8 to 12 hours. I can't remember how long it was. But I was pulling out iron like you wouldn't believe. Some of the quality of the iron here is like 100 quality. So I was really happy with that. And I'm happy that the iron mine is so close to home. So that's going to last me a good long while. And as you can see, the sun has gone down. It's getting dark. I'm about to put my torch on, and quality of the video is going to go down very quickly. So I think I'm only going to broadcast for a couple more minutes. I think I'll show you something else I'm working on. I was working on my herbalism, and herbalism is very important because it allows you to produce flux. And you need flux for different things. You need flux to make mortar. Mortar is used to make buildings. And you also need flux to make steel. Now, it takes 10 flux to make... It takes 10 flux and 2 iron ingots to make 1 steel ingot. So, as you can see, by doing the math, steel ingots are pretty expensive. In order to upgrade the monument to the next level, like right now I have a fine monument, and the next level I think is grand monument, I think. I'm not sure. Put something in the comments to let me know. But it takes 10 steel ingots. So if you do the math, it means I need 100 flux and 20 iron ingots. So it's not cheap. And so that's going to take me a little while. I've discussed it with my guildmate, and we both decided, you know, maybe we need to build herb planters before we try and get that much flux. But I got my flux in here. It's my little herbalism basket. And I found these interesting materials when I was mining. Actishite and scolecite and mionite. I've been collecting these weird animal parts as well. But also, you look at these herbs, like this is for food flavor. And this is flux herb. That's food flavor. That's NAFTA. Now, as you can see, I've been working pretty hard with herbalism. And I've already got 12 flux. I got 15 food flavor. And 11 NAFTA. Now, I'm not doing this alone, so... I noticed my buddy here. He's got some flux as well. And I noticed he's been hoarding some tools as well, which I find interesting. Been making arrows as well. Good for him. Double taproot. It's kind of weird. He's not able to play as often as I am. Works for a living, and well, I'm a college student, so I have plenty of time on my hands. And I just wanted to see what he has. Look at that. He's got 20. Looks like 26 NAFTA. And he's only got 1 flux. But, looks like it's a good time to start building lanterns. That way we can put a lantern in front of the houses, and maybe one in front of the warehouse, and one over by the barn, just to kind of light up the place a little bit, and make it easier to work around here at night. But I've been kind of spending most of my time in this little area right here. You know, this is my little work area. I know it's like right in the middle of the street here, but it's just convenient because it's like right in front of the warehouse, and it's where all my tools are, and so anyway, see how dark it's getting. It gets a lot darker than this, believe me. And I think now is a good time to torch on. I'll light things up a little bit. You can see how that lights up the world, but the light doesn't go very far. But it looks nice, and lets me work around the farm at night. But I still wouldn't want to walk through the woods because of the, as you can see, there's wild animals out there. I am gonna have to deal with that boar, just because it's there, and I might want to be able to find a way to tame it. I'm not sure, but anyway, I'm gonna end the episode here. So I want to thank you for watching Life is Feudal on Cybrdroid's Funky Labs. I'm your host, Cybrdroyd. Do me a favor and hit that like button. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think of my show. And I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.